it. I've seen the trend now. I've seen the trend for years.
What's the trend?
The trend is always making excuses. Doc, we get it. Taking over a team in the middle of the season is hard. There's never accountability with that guy. There's never accountability.
And you go accountability. He should have been the sixth man on that Clippers team. If I'm being honest, he should have started Jamal Crawford. So, should Doc be held accountable for playing you that 3-1 series when the Clippers walked y'all ass? I mean, when the Rockets, when we walked y'all ass down 3-1? Should he be accountable and be like, you know what? Let me get JJ Redick off James Harden.
Harden jab, spins, step back, puts it in, and Houston won.
Like JJ Redick wasn't playing basketball. He was team bench, team bench, team bench.
Gotta dig in. Everybody. It ain't just Blake, it's all of us.
Welcome to the Dark Times channel. And before I go ahead and get started, make sure you guys go ahead and smash that like button for me. And if you're not new to the channel and you enjoy the content so far on this channel, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me as well. And so let's go ahead and jump back in. And this is a video that I wanted to chime in on the other day, but I'm glad I waited because Patrick Beverly had a chance to chime in on the whole situation surrounding JJ Redick's comments about his former coach, Doc Rivers. But before I get to Pat Bev, I want to take it to Mason Cameron on the Is What It Is podcast. They actually had something to say about it as well.
Mark, do you think JJ Redick never spoke up for you? Yeah, because when you were speaking, you sound real passionate about that. So I just wanted to make sure.
You mean for JJ Redick or against him?
No, against what he's doing, you know, because me listening to you, it came across as if JJ Redick is aggressive about this situation, but there's a lot of situations he's not as passionate about.
And so Mace hit the nail right on the head, because when I first heard JJ Redick and his little rant on First Take when he went off on his former coach Doc Rivers, that sounded like something else. And truth be told, that's why anybody's even talking about it. There was a subtext in what JJ Redick was saying.
There's never accountability with that guy. There's never accountability.
Because let's talk turkey for a second. Let's get real for a second. I went back and looked up that Houston Rockets series versus the Clippers back in 2012, I believe, in which the Clippers had a 3-1 lead and they were up on the Houston Rockets and expected to advance to the Western Conference Finals. And JJ Redick was getting major minutes. JJ Redick is getting 36 minutes a game. And keep in mind, JJ Redick is not by any stretch of the imagination a defensive stopper. He's out there to be a shooter. He's out there for his scoring ability. And so, like I said, they had a 3-1 lead versus the Rockets. And then in comes game number 5. In game 5 of that series, JJ Redick shot 3 for 12 and went 1 from 8 from the three-point line. And the Clippers lost. Game number 6, JJ Redick shot 4 for 13 and the Clippers lost. In game number 7, JJ Redick shot 4 from 12 and 2 from 9 from the three-point line, and the Clippers lost. And like I said, he's out there for his shooting. And so if he's not scoring the basket and he's not shooting the ball, put his ass on the bench. And so like I said, I'm not defending Doc Rivers. I actually agree with JJ Redick to some degree. But it's the tonality and the tone for me when it comes to JJ Redick. And so Pat Bev is going to chime in and say some of the same things that we all were thinking.
I love it, though.
So let's get into it. JJ Redick.
I need to know exact words so I can give the people a response, a rebuttal.
JJ Redick said he's tired of the excuses from Doc Rivers.
Okay.
He says it's hard when you go to a new team and you get traded, the same that it's hard for Doc when he goes to a new team as a coach. He said that Doc is taking credit for the James Harden trade to the Clippers. And he said, hey, listen, Doc, all we ever hear from you is excuses. Then Pat Bev fires back while we're setting up the cameras right here. I didn't even get to see what you said, bro. So can you fill me in live? I need exact words.
No, so I'm gonna give you what
I didn't even know either. I'm driving up.
I'm gonna give you what I said, and then I'm gonna touch on it a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
I go, this man Doc actually saved your career. He started you when no one else wanted to. You go retire, you retire and go on TV and say that. So that was at JJ Redick, right? So that was my response, right?
I'm walking into a firestorm. I had no idea.
So we as players, right?
Right.
We discuss coaches, we discuss players, but a coach's job is very different from a player's, right? Getting thrown in the fire middle of a season, that's really not natural for a coach. Obviously, it's natural for players. It's literally like what everyone sits around their phones and TVs for, to see Woj and Shams and Pat Bev Pod break news about trades and signings and stuff like that. He should have been the sixth man on that Clippers team. If I'm being honest, he should have started Jamal Crawford. Or you could have went bigger and started whoever the Matt Barnes was on that team too, right? And you go accountability. So should Doc be held accountable for playing you? That 3-1 series when the Clippers walked y'all when the Rockets, when we walked y'all ass down 3-1? Should he be accountable and be like, you know what, let me get JJ Redick off James Harden? Like, JJ Redick wasn't playing basketball. He was team bench, team bench, team bench.
And so shout out to Patrick Beverly for keeping it as real as he could keep it on his podcast. Because you could tell that Patrick Beverly didn't go as far as he wanted to go. Patrick Beverly probably has 3 to 4 more years left in the NBA, and so he's got to be careful. He's got to tiptoe just a little bit, because things that you say, especially when you're talking about on a podcast or any platform for that matter, can and will be used against you when you're talking about joining another potential NBA team or another organization. Because we all knew the underlying subtext in which JJ Redick was trying to come at it, either consciously or unconsciously. Because you can say what you want about Doc Rivers not being this or not being that. Fact of the matter is, he's gotten teams to the playoffs. Basketball is one of those games that coaches really only have so much control over. At the end of the day, you got to hit shots. You got to have people on your team hitting shots. And I'm not saying he's blameless, but I don't think he deserves a lot of the rap that he gets. And so sometimes that's just the way things fall. Sometimes people have bad luck. It's not an excuse, but it is what it is. Things happen. I would say Doc Rivers might have some of the worst luck as far as being a head coach. I don't think he's made some of the best decisions, but on top of that, he's had probably some of the best luck. And to win a championship, you got to have a lot of luck too. You got to have a lot of balls bounce your way. You got to have a lot of refs blow that whistle in your favor, or not blow that whistle in your favor, if y'all know what I mean. And so, as I said earlier, I don't have an issue with JJ Redick critiquing his former head coach. I don't think anybody has an issue with that, but it goes back to his tone. That was an interesting tone to take with your former head coach, a tone that I don't think he's taken with any other coach. If he would have just critiqued Doc Rivers like he critiques anybody else, I don't think anybody else would have had an issue with it. I don't think we would be talking about it, but it's the tonality and it's the veracity in which he attacked Doc Rivers. It was unnecessary. But that's all I had on this one. Y'all go ahead and make sure y'all chime in below and let me know how y'all feel, and I'll try to be as active in there as well. And make sure you guys hit that like button on your way out also. And as usual, peace and chaos.